Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Martinez and this is the Fit Refresh. I created this YouTube channel for my clients and for future clients to get a little extra insight in situations or issues that are happening in their lives. I help my clients use the 3 pillars of health and wellness, fitness, nutrition, and motivation to help build a happy, healthy lifestyle. And all of this information is just there to help in the process. Today's topic is really important and I just want to jump right into it, especially if it's something that you might personally be dealing with. Let's go. All right, now's the time. Subscribe to my channel, like this video at any point if you find it helpful, and more importantly, ask your questions. I want this to be an open forum, and if you ask your questions, I'll answer them. Let's jump right into the material. What is insulin resistance? Now, if this is the first time you've heard this term, don't worry, I'm going to explain what it is so that you can start to break down if it's maybe something that you're dealing with. But more importantly, it really is a state of being that a lot of people are in that don't even realize that they're experiencing. Of course, once it gets out of hand, it's a lot easier to diagnose it because your doctor can diagnose it. And in general, you can tell because the feelings that you might be experiencing now with just light insulin resistance, as they progress, those kind of symptoms just get worse. So today we're really going to talk about what is insulin resistance and then also what are the steps you can take to help fix it. Let's start with what insulin is. It's okay if you haven't heard this term before. You're not crazy, all right? Insulin is produced by the pancreas that regulates the amount of sugar that's in your blood. Of course, it's important that your hormones in general are balanced, and this is a really important hormone that, when out of balance, will change the structure on how your body stores and burns fat. Okay, so what the heck is insulin resistance? So let's talk about it. Let's keep it as simple as possible. So insulin is produced by your pancreas, so your cell will open up and you can transport it as energy, right? When your body gets too much sugar in its system, too much sugar, too many carbs, your pancreas starts to work overtime, and because of this overabundance of sugar, your cells, they just stop responding to insulin in the same way. So what happens is your body wants to produce even more insulin to be able to actually get the cells to do what it needs to do. And that process of needing to increase insulin output to be able to now get your cells to respond is when your pancreas starts to have really bad effects as far as overproduction. And at a certain point, your pancreas just says, I can't do this anymore. And in that case, that's when you get into that pre-diabetic and into diabetic states in your body. So insulin resistance is really kind of the first step to that road of diabetes. Now, you don't always get to see any of the signs of insulin resistance when you go to the doctors. Now, sometimes they can tell you, so always go to your doctor, always talk to them about it, right? That's always the number one key factor. But your tests might come back pretty normal. So that's why I really wanted to talk today about some of the things you might be feeling and some of the risk factors to allow you to understand if maybe you might be getting yourself on the road to either being insulin resistant or you might already be insulin resistant, which means you're on the road to the next steps. Okay, let's talk about risk factors first. That was really hard to say. First of all, one of the big risk factors is obesity. If you know that you're overweight, it could be a big red flag that you might be experiencing insulin resistance, or you might soon start experiencing insulin resistance. If you can recognize that you have a very inactive lifestyle, if you have a high carbohydrate or high sugar diet, a family history of diabetes, if you're a smoker, have any kind of hormonal disorders, have sleep issues. All of these things could be risk factors that put you on the road to either getting insulin resistance or already being there. Now, don't frighten yourselves. Just start to think about it, right? So these are the things that are risk factors towards it. So the reality is most of these things, besides obviously hormonal disorders or family histories of issues, most of these things are things that can be reversed, that can be fixed, but it takes that extra level of wanting to make a change in your body and make the right choices, which we'll talk about the things you can do to help that. So there are some signs you can start looking for. It takes a higher level of awareness of your body. Shocking. I know I'm always talking about higher level of awareness. And if this is your first time watching my video, you should watch the others. You'll see it's a through line. You have to be more aware about what is going on in your body. And when you are, start to recognize if you're just feeling more tired than usual. So usually one sign of insulin resistance is just kind of like a feeling of tiredness, even if you didn't do anything that day, right? Another one is just being generally low on energy. Usually if your body's fighting this hormonal imbalance, it's going to kind of slow itself down to try to re-regulate the best way it knows how, and start to figure out how to store your body the right way and put fat in the right places. So you're going to just feel kind of lower on energy. Another sign is dark velvety patches on your skin. That can also be a sign of getting into insulin resistance and possibly on the road to maybe even being pre-diabetic. So if you notice any kind of changes in skin color or tone, another good reason to go check it out and get with your doctor. Another thing you should consider as well, anytime you go get your blood pressure readings, if you're at 130 over 80 or higher, might be a sign that you're insulin resistant, or you might be pre-diabetic or even diabetic. So that is another good big cue sign that you should go talk to your doctor. Now, how can you get your blood pressure done? I mean, they have them at grocery stores too. Now, I know we're going through COVID right now, so maybe you're not sticking your arm everywhere everyone else has. But again, it's another good reason to go get checked out with a doctor and see what your blood pressure is at. Most importantly, you guys, if you see these signs, if you're like, oh my God, I'm low on energy, I'm tired, don't freak out, all right? Like I said, there are ways to start combating this and start taking care of it and getting yourself in a good positive vibe starting right now. Let's talk about how to fix it, all right? Insulin resistance isn't a death sentence, okay? What it does mean, though, is you're going to have to make some changes in your life. You might also be on the road to becoming insulin resistant and not actually there yet, but you could reverse that thing completely if you give yourself just a little bit of attention. My first way to fix this situation, number one, always on the list, go see a doctor. If you're having any issues, if you're having things that feel weird, something feels different, go get checked out. Take that out of the equation. You go and the doctor's like, hey, you're perfectly healthy, nothing's wrong with you. All right, well now you get to start really digging into habit, lifestyle choices, right? So go see your doctor first, that's number one. Second thing, get some exercise in your life, all right? Now I know you're like, I knew she was gonna say all this, but the truth is, if you have a generally good physical activity habit going on, and you get some good healthy eating choices, you can really combat this and get it under control. For exercise, 30 minutes a day of moderate activity, a walk, walk up and down your stairs around your house, 30 minutes a day, that's all, to get yourself physically active. Now, if you're working out more than that, that's great. Keep up your physical activity, make sure that it's a big part of your week. Not to mention it's just extra calories burned, right? Not too bad, ever. The next thing, of course, healthy eating. Like I was saying before, listen, the really big key to healthy eating and keeping yourself in check is to just lower your carb and sugar intake and then increase your veggie lean protein intake. So just tip the scale. So if most of your meals center around your carbohydrate, then I want you to try to change that and make it center around your protein and your veggie. Then you can add a little carbohydrate around it, but that's how you're going to balance it out, and that's how you're going to lower that carb intake. Once you lower your sugar and carb intake, your body, it's going to take a moment, and nothing happens fast, guys, not this fast, right? It's going to take a while for your body to go, oh, okay, and then start to re-regulate hormone balance again. So give it that time to really adjust. Don't give it a week and be like, oh, well, it didn't work. I mean, give yourself the opportunity to actually, see some changes happen. Get to a healthy weight. So I know that that's a little generalized as an option to fix it. Healthy weight is pretty, I think that's pretty much a goal that we all have, right? We want to be at a healthy weight, something that we feel good at and that, our body's functioning properly at. So striving towards that rather than I want flat abs, I want skinny, I want this or whatever, all of those other things, let's shuffle that off to the side and let's just put out there, I want to get to a healthy weight. If you do that, you make that your goal, and you add in that little bit of extra physical activity, try to lower that carb intake, usually you can dig yourself out of any kind of insulin resistant situation. Now, if you're deeper than that, and you are now in a state where you are either pre-diabetic or diabetic, there are plenty of people who can even reverse those stages by making sure that you're getting physically active and that you're lowering your carb and sugar intake. So please, please, please start to listen to your body. Start to make small, tiny decisions that are going to help you, all right? That is the key. Big overhaul decisions tend to fall flat on their face. Small, tiny things, a meal at a time, a snack at a time, a 30-minute, movement at a time, all right? That's the key. Stay happy. Well, I hope you found this informative. Of course, visit my website if you have any questions, need guidance. And then also ask your questions here. This is kind of a weird subject that, isn't solved all in just one video, right? So there's a lot of ups and downs and reasons why you might be in the situation you're in. And just know that, you are not immune to being able to create a healthy lifestyle for yourself. You didn't get too far, into it, or you didn't dig in too deep. We can always dig our way back out. It's just about how much you're willing to give to it to make it happen. All right. So visit my website. Of course, tune in for more episodes. Join me on my social media platforms. I'm constantly giving free stuff there. Join me on TikTok. That way you can watch me make a fool out of myself there, which is always fun. And then we'll do it again next week. See you next time.